States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to start out with roll call. Everybody's here but John and Ben. And we're going to have a reorganization of the Planning Commission. Nominations.
I make a motion that the officers stay the same.
I'll second.
That was nice. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Guess we stay the same. Public comment. You guys got a sheet to see what's on the agenda?
Yes.
We have some
Okay.
public comments. Now,
Do you want them?
or do you want them on on current agenda items?
Yeah, what's on the agenda?
Okay. So we have down on the old business, the review and discussion of possible amendments of the zoning ordinance accessory use table.
Okay.
I didn't know if you guys were gonna.
Are you going to discuss it first and then
we
can
talk
comment
about it,
based on
or
your
do you just want
discussions?
us to-
We'd like me.
Or I can just go if you want.
No, let's hear what you got.
Okay.
You know, that's the way they have it set up for us, is you
Yeah,
need to
that's
make a
Okay.
comment.
Okay.
I'm Bethany Horns, by the way. Do I need to state my address or anything for the record?
No, we don't, we're not that formal here. We know where you live.
Okay. So we're pretty familiar with this issue specifically because of everything that went to the zoning hearing board and everything like that. And I know that there's potential to change whether farm structures of traditional or non-traditional scale are permitted in the RL district. For anyone who doesn't know, up there on that zoning map, we're talking about that little strip of yellow at the top there of the township. That's the RL district. And I think it helps to first look at what the purpose of the RL district is. And this is right out of our zoning code. The RL suburban residential district, the purpose of the RL district is to encourage low-density, single-family developments at moderate densities in locations in the township where utilities and transportation facilities exist or are anticipated in the future. So in that district, we're trying to encourage low-density, single-family developments. And I do not think there is an error in the current accessory use table. We were not around when, I wasn't here when this initially went through. So whether that was by error or not, I think it makes a lot of sense to not allow farm structures in the RL district. Sorry, what did I say?
No, you're right.
Farm structures, yeah, in the RL district. Agriculture is a permitted use in the RL district, as it is in the A1 district, the RH district, every district except for, I believe, industrial in the township. Agriculture is a permitted use. So at first, when we were digging into this about a year ago, we were like, something doesn't seem right here. Agriculture is permitted, but farm structures are not. Farm structures like barns, mechanic shops, things like that, machine shops on the farm are not permitted in RL. It doesn't make sense. How can you have agriculture and not farm structures? Then we started thinking about it, and we were like, wait a second, there are tons of examples in our township, in our county, in our state, where you have agriculture, but you don't have farm structures. You can take hay off of a property, raise field corn, pumpkins, have organic vegetables, an orchard where you have apples and peaches. You can put cows on pasture, you can graze sheep. All of those things you can do and are done all the time Go
But
ahead.
now let me caution you now. Okay,
Yeah.
you can say put animals on there, but you need a structure for them animals
No,
on that piece of property.
not necessarily. I mean, you
You
can,
gotta have a structure to put them animals inside for bad weather.
in
That
the
they can get
winter,
there.
you can graze them during grazing season.
Oh, that's
without
true, but you're
structure.
saying that still the building is a structure for them animals.
The building is a structure, but for example, you put cows on a patch, say I have 20 acres that I don't have anything to do with. There are no structures on this 20 acres, but I fence that in, and then I let my neighbor down the road that's in A1 graze his cows on that 20-some acres from, I don't know, April to end of November, and then he takes them back.
Well,
So
yeah, but you don't own the property. You know, you're leasing that out for that purpose. But if Dave,
I own the
if
property.
you had,
Well, I did own the property. I'm saying
well, no,
I'm
your
leasing it
your
out for
neighbor,
someone else.
you're saying your neighbor is putting his cows on your property, okay, and then he's taking them back off, okay.
Right, okay.
So, but if you owned that property and you had 20 acres and you had your own cows on there, you need a structure for them animals to be out of the way.
Correct.
I
You have
Yes.
to provide
You
shelter.
have to provide it.
Just
So,
call
yes.
it, just ask the Humane Society. I mean,
It's recommended, it's recommended. I know some people who have their cows out, their beef cows out all year long, and they have a very protected hollow where they go when the weather gets really bad and they survive. I'd rather here nor there. Oh, take the beef cows out of it. We've got raising hay, field corn, pumpkins, vegetables, orchard. There's a lot of things you can do in farming without a farm structure. Maybe not the cows. I think you could still graze them there when the weather's nice.
You could get spring feeders.
You could get spring
could-
feeders,
You're
raise them and
supposed to
take
have
them
a
to
structure
market.
for shelter there, for
At least
shade.
3 sides and a roof.
Yep, that's why you see people with horses
Okay.
with their 3 sides.
All
I mean, that's,
So take that one off the list, but there's a lot of other
well,
agriculture that you
yes,
can
but it
do.
depends on what you want to do with it.
It
You know
depends
what
on
I
what
mean?
you
Right,
wanna do with
you
it.
can't do everything, right, that's right.
That's
So,
your
with the permit-
interpretation of what you want to do with the property that you have.
It-
But somebody else may want to have that structure to do that, you know, to put hay in it, to
Right.
store hay,
Yeah.
to do different things.
Okay.
You know,
Yes,
I
okay.
mean,
I hear you on that. But with the current table as it reads right now, those are types of agriculture that you can do in the RL district. With the current table as it reads right now, the types of agriculture that you can't do in the RL district. You can't raise hogs for meat, it requires a building. You can't have a dairy operation because it requires a building. So if I wanted to have 300 cows in my barn, and milk them every day, I couldn't do it. It was a new operation in the RL district, because it requires a building. I can't have a chicken facility as it stands right now. I can't have 10,000 chickens in my barn, laying hens, because it requires a farm structure. These are more, I would say, intensive agricultural activities. And I think there's a reason that we're not allowing those in the RL district. If you look back at the purpose of the RL district that I read at the beginning, it's to encourage low-density, single-family developments. And let's play this out in the township right now. With the table, accessory use table as it stands right now, if someone bought 50 acres adjacent to Cherry Valley Lakeview Estates, where those beautiful homes are, and they wanted to put in a, let's just say, a laying hen operation. They were going to bring in 25,000 chickens and put them on 50 acres or 100 acres adjacent to Cherry Valley Lakeview Estates. They couldn't do it with the current zoning because it would require farm structures, right? Those farm structures are what must be there to have this laying operation. If you do the proposed change, you make that a P in the column for RL, and you allow farm structures in the residential district, there's
well,
nothing.
it's just not residential, it's
It's
also.
low density. Low density
It's
residential.
also agricultural too.
Agriculture is a permitted use, but it is
But
not the A1 district.
District.
And you're exactly right. The rest of the township, all that green up there, that's agriculture. And you can have farm structures, and over 80% of our township is agriculture.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I don't know how many years you've been living here.
Long time.
Were you here before Cherry Valley was started?
Just
They were
already
just
right
started.
around the, they were just
Okay,
starting.
how many single-family developments have they put in besides Cherry Valley and Mount Pleasant Township?
None, but.
Do you have sewers on your property, down your way for development, future development?
No, but it's been earmarked as the zoning says, RL is, well, I'll read it to you again.
Well, the zoning is for zoning, but I mean,
Well,
there's
that's the whole
no,
point of I feel like the point of planning commission is to make plans.
Mount Pleasant
for
can't get
future
sewers for
development.
the municipality itself. You know, I mean, they've been trying since early 2000 to get sewers, and it's not happening, you
I
know,
mean, the
it's,
sewers are
Right
at
there.
the bottom of our road.
Right.
I mean, almost adjacent to our property. They're coming right down Cherry Valley.
They're coming down Cherry Valley, there's an expansion.
Oh, sorry, the other way, right at Midway, at the top of, right up at the top
They're
of
at the
North.
corner of our property.
We're
They're-
less than a quarter mile.
Up top of the hill.
Yeah.
No, they're right at the edge of our property.
Bill, there's a manhole.
Right there at our
I think they'd have to
property.
put in a pump
So
station
they'd have to put a pump station put
to
in.
go up over there.
Right, but they're
And
right
is there a pump station there now?
No. Nope.
There's just a manhole, there's just a manhole there for.
Right,
But
the
I think
sewers are right there.
I think the point is that the whole point of this zoning and planning commission is to plan for the future. And this RL district has been earmarked as the small part of this township that is coming for development. So let me finish my train of thought here with Cherry Valley Lakeview Estates.
Okay, you got a couple more minutes,
Okay,
because we
that's
got things we gotta get done.
If we change that to a P and we allow these farm structures in the low-density residential district, that little yellow at the top of the map, there is nothing in the zoning, and we have read it, we've had our attorneys read it, there's nothing that would prevent a chicken laying facility with 25,000 chickens from coming in right butt up against Cherry Valley Lakeview Estates, right there. I think that's a problem. I think you should be concerned about that. I'm certainly concerned about that. When you bring in a facility with that many chickens, and you have to do it according to the PA Nutrient Management Act, you know, things like don't contaminate the groundwater, etc. But when you have something like that, you have odor, you have obviously manure, these chickens are inside, you have disease, you have rodents, you have insects, you have parasites, not things that you want butt up against a residential neighborhood. And so I think if
Okay,
you change this.
I'm gonna stop you there, I got one comment to make.
Sure.
You know, there's dairy farms right beside Cherry Valley Estates.
I realize that.
And there has been no conflict with anything from the people up there. Maybe some people in the beginning may have said something about some of the odors, but they're still allowed to keep their cows and everything like that.
They're
in the farming area.
grandfathered in, and there should be.
And they
But there is no complaints, even though they're grandfathered in, about them having, you know, that in there. And I know you're concerned about this little piece of property next to yours. So
I
they
am
don't do
concerned
something.
about that, but I'm also concerned about just planning for our township. I don't think it's smart to just kind of let unfettered agriculture be in a district. that's
Mount Pleasant
going-
Township was an agricultural community before it was the RL district that you have,
I
that you
agree.
live in.
I agree.
And your farm was a farm at one time too.
Yeah,
It
it's
still
still,
is.
it's still.
Well, it still is, right, it's still a farm. but
Yeah, it's still
But I'm just
farm.
saying is,
Be
I-
careful what you say and everything. Bill, I come from Peters Township. We were up against this same thing all the time. And her point is correct. That what was done, I got to compliment the people who put that in there. I do not believe it was an error. I believe it was done to keep, because you don't know what kind of conflicts you'll have down the road. Right now, you're not having any conflicts, and that's great. And people, and the farmers who are farming, that's why those people built those houses there, so they could look across the farm fields and everything. They love it. We were told that hundreds of times over in Peters Township, that we want you here as long as possible. But the first drought year that came along, and we had to run our pumps 24/7 to keep up with the drought, there were complaints, just unbelievable amounts of complaints about our pumps. And people don't realize what could be put beside them. Now, don't get me wrong, the farms that are there, I am 100% behind you on letting them continue
Their
and build
grandfather-
buildings
yeah.
on that land beside those residential areas. But people, when they're not farming it, and then they want to build farm structures on it, I think it's a mistake to let them do it, because you're going to get complaints. Just, it's coming.
well, number one, this isn't like Peters was back in the day, because I know what Peters was, because that's where I came from.
Well, that's where I came from too, and I know
Well,
exactly
Peters
what it
was like,
Was
I mean,
like
when he
this.
was young,
Excuse
this
me?
is Peters Township.
This is what Peters was like when he was young.
And
Well,
development comes.
I moved to Peters in 1963, so I know what it was like to put it rural.
My family
down.
moved there in '48.
He was
So,
born there in
you know,
58.
but, you know, if somebody has a piece of property and want to put farm animals on it, why can't they do that if it's in that area?
They absolutely should be able to.
Which-
Except,
if
I
they've
think
been doing
the
it.
wise thing to do would be accept out high-density livestock operations.
Right,
The smell, I'm telling you, Bill, it's gonna be a headache.
Have you ever gone to Penn State and walked past the long houses that have the
The
chickens?
chickens
They have
in?
state-of-the-art care. You smell them from 3 football fields away. It hits you like nothing. I mean, I've been there. I've been past them. If you want to allow animals in the RL district, yeah, let people, yes, let's say no more than 5 cows per every 15 acres. No more than, you got to put limits on it.
They
Say
have limits on
you-
some of the stuff here.
Not, I mean, not that on horses I've seen,
Yeah, but
on like a private stable, there are no limits on heads of
cows,
cattle or
numbers
anything
of
like that.
chickens.
So if you want to do it, say, hey, yeah, it's zoned residential, but you want to have chickens, fine, but no more than 100 on 10 acres, something like that. No more than 5 cows. If you want to do a deep dive, I think you really got to look at it and put other restrictions on. I think just to say it's a free-for-all permitted is a big mistake.
In RL.
In RL, in agriculture, in 90% of
Everywhere
this
else in the
township, you
township,
let
and
go.
if you were
It's
already
A1.
doing it, if
If
you
you're
were already
already
forming
doing
it,
it,
absolutely.
You're not taking
grandfathered in.
anyone's
Well,
rights away.
Okay. Kathy, do you have any comments? We're gonna stop your comment.
That's
You know what I
fine.
mean?
That's
You have anything to say?
I just don't know. I don't know their situation. Why did this come up?
Well, because they were supposed to get 5,000 chickens?
3,000.
3,000
3,000
across the
chickens.
street from us, our house.
Less than 300 feet from my parents' house. They wanted to put 3,000 chickens
in a building.
in an existing barn.
Well,
the
now,
building
they
already
do have to
there?
go by if you would put a building up, you have to go with the codes. They're 300 feet from the property, all that
Especially
stuff.
300 feet away, in my opinion, 300,
With
and
bird
in this
food.
RL district where we don't have big development yet, we have Chris Lawford's house right here that was less than 300 feet from where they wanted to put chickens. Our house that's less than 300 feet. There's another house, Rowene Lawford's house. If they were gonna put something back there, they would have been too close to it. And even if you make it 300 feet, you know, that's, in my opinion, that is too close to people that they're already
For high
living there.
density,
It's
yeah,
their
animal
home,
operations.
and you can't control the odor, you can't control the flies, you can't control the diseases. And you're not gonna, it's going to be a huge conflict if you allow this to happen where you're saying, we want people to come and live. And it's such a small amount of the township where you're actually saying, this is where we've earmarked for development. In the whole other big green area where it is zoned in the agricultural district, you can do this.
And if you were to already do
And
it.
if you were already doing it.
Okay. Jack, do you have any comment?
No, I understand both sides of it. I mean, just, some people gotta look at both sides. I mean, I do understand both sides of the argument. That's all I got.
And I know we're talking about RL, but it's the same question for RH, for M or B, for everything but M1. It's the same issue across that table.
Yeah.
That's the only other thing I'll say.
You said you can have agriculture, but you don't want the buildings, and it's because the buildings are the concentrated activity of agriculture that can conflict with where people are living. You have said the same thing in that.
But you still need a building if you have animals outside. And I understand Dave's point about saying the amount of animals may be a way to go, and that might be something
I just
we'd
think
have to
it
look
needs a
into
deeper
to see
dive.
limits on certain things.
Yeah.
I've heard nightmares out east, Bill, with, you know, the high density chicken operations, hog operations. You can smell
Well,
it.
you just
You
drive
can
off
smell
the,
it.
you can smell it from the turnpike. Pull your
Wayne,
window
can you
down.
smell it?
Big time.
And then the other
I got
thing,
pictures of, I had trap flies.
He has to trap flies.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion that we do some investigation on this and see if there's a solution to, I think buildings should be allowed in that district, the RL district, if you have agricultural land for animals. But I see your point about
Cow.
density animals, having too many. So we will table this to another meeting and try to find out some more information.
And I just have one other comment. If you look at the other municipalities around us that have developed a little bit quicker, I think it's South Strabane, or if you look at their, North Strabane, if you look at their zoning and with people that have some property and want animals, the setbacks are so much further if you have pigs and chickens. They are recognizing that the odors are so much worse for the people that are living near there. And we don't make that distinction at all. You know, we have, Mike Jordan lives right down the road from us with cows. Even when I walk past her when I'm walking on Lawford Road, it doesn't smell bad. He doesn't have an exorbitant amount of cows, and it's a fine fit with people that are living there. And horses are up the road. You know, but when you're talking about pigs that just smell so disgusting.
On high concentration.
And high concentration.
Or keeping them inside, not on pasture. There's so many variables. And I think even potentially as you're doing your research, looking at just increasing the setbacks.
Okay,
You know,
okay,
instead
well,
of-
we're gonna table it and do some more investigation for next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
That's my son's house, the cows are in there, there's 3 acres.
We need to go back to our minutes. That kind of took a little bit longer, but we got a whole different.
See, I think I was, you know, we were the ones that, you know, we thought we were doing well by putting, but we didn't put how big a building or how many. So maybe that's what needs to be added in.
Do we have any meeting, remember the meeting minutes from the last one?
I sent them in.
Oh,
You should
okay.
not make copies.
All right, you want to approve them, we're going to approve the minutes from the November meeting, that November meeting?
I make a motion to approve them.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
What is this bill? What's that?
Okay. Nicole, want to go over the,
Data center?
yeah, please.
Yeah, of course. So, myself and Tom went and put together a draft data center ordinance. I think some research still needs to be done, a little bit more into it. You guys, please feel free to go and review it, do like any comments, questions on it. But it's basically, we didn't have a data center ordinance before, and they're becoming more popular, up and coming. One, just go and kind of get ahead of, as you know, you guys directed us to do it
That's not
for
what-
the,
That wasn't what I was asking
No,
about.
we'll do that.
to get ahead of it. So this is a draft ordinance. We, personally, my engineering firm has gone through this in a couple of municipalities. So this is very similar to the Robinson Township one. Some of the key things to go and think about with data centers, that they're these huge buildings. So there's some aspects in the data center about like the facade to make sure it like looks good, because they're a huge building. You can't just be ugly building up if it's more than like 100 or I think it was like 100 feet or something. Then it needs to be like architectural. It needs to look good. We also go and talk about in here water usage. They need to make sure that they go and really research if there's enough water there. It won't go to impact other residents, and have to get like letters from the water utility. Same thing with regarding power. They need to get letters from the power companies. One of the, I think, good key aspects of the data center ordinance is we go and we indicate if they had to go and have an alternate power source, not just generators, but like a power plant or something, to have enough power for the data center. We say that's a separate use. That is a separate use, and that's not accessory to this. We need to go through the applicable zoning for it. So those are some of the key items that are in this data center ordinance. I do think it's important to enact one. So some like the key things of it. We do have, and of course we talk about like noise limitations, noise mitigation, all of that, which I don't think would be an issue regardless for these. The decommissioning for the data center ordinance, they need to go and submit a decommissioning plan, but we don't go in this ordinance. You can change it however you want, but in this ordinance as it's written, you just need a decommissioning plan. Doesn't mean taking out the building, it just means making that building then usable for the next people to go and come in. with whatever use that may be in the future.
Is that all, they're basically just a big shell of a building then?
Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's basically just a big shell of the building and then the accessory things too. And then it's like filled with just these like big computers and cooling towers and everything. But the cooling towers and everything is separate. Or like the cooling equipment for like the water is separate. And we have like information here like that needs to go and be screened well from the public and everything. But the building itself is just a shell. And then there's all these other accessory uses, which would go into the decommissioning plan to not have any cooling equipment that someone else needs to go and take down, or if they have like giant generators and there's a giant generator pad or whatever it may be, that would be in the decommissioning plan.
Okay. I think we ought to table that also.
Yeah, we need to discuss that because I know we're dealing with that a lot. Whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of topics in here.
Do you have any
A lot of
questions
power
or something on
right
that? On the data center stuff, do you have anything you want to ask her? Do you want to ask her anything about this?
No,
The data center?
no, because I know our township's not big enough for one. I think we're just doing this for protection.
Okay. I think we'll just table that for the next meeting then also?
Yeah.
Okay. And then our other thing is the ASA additions for some properties. Do you have him? Or mine?
I don't, that was more of a Tom
Did
topic.
I give you that? I thought you had that too. You want a copy of these? This would be an addition to a parcel of agricultural security area. Mark and Cindy Baker, that adds 65.116 acre parcel to their ag security. This is just like an informative thing to notify the citizens in the township that they're doing this. There's pictures here. All the documentation is here.
Are they next to one?
Yeah, I think that they're just adding to their same parcel. And there'll be notices in the paper. Or they did do that on the 25th, I guess, of October. So, any questions from anybody?
No.
Okay. We don't have to vote on that. 'cause
We
that's
don't
just-
have to vote on it, no, because we don't have a control over it.
And there's another one, not your neighborhood, I think. Spring Hill Farm?
Yeah,
Where's that?
it's out up the road from it.
Well, who's that one?
Like,
There's no
How many
name.
acres?
Oh.
18 acre parcel down towards the covered bridge down that way. That's what this, they're doing the same thing. It's part of a larger parcel, it's just little bits in Mount Pleasant Township, the other part is in
Is this?
Smith
is
Township.
this-
Yes,
Is this, Covered Bridge Road? Where
that's
is
the one
that?
we're talking about, that's down by Cherry Valley, below Cherry Valley Estates.
Can you talk about the benefits of belonging to that in this township?
Well, it basically just gives you, you really can't sell it. It's the, I guess the state owns the property.
no, I don't, if it's the ag security zone that I'm thinking of, Bill, it is a protection for farms.
Oh, keep it a
Because
farm?
we put our farm over in Peters in an ag security zone, and it stopped the beltway. It can stop eminent domain.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it does?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
just didn't know if this was the same, I mean, that's what our property
If
in
that's an
Peters
ag,
was in that.
and it does have to go through township approval,
First,
yeah.
and then county.
Yeah, and Peters
See what
Township
it
was
is?
dragging their feet on it when we wanted to put it in, but then when the Beltway wanted to come through, they became our best buddies, and they approved it like right now.
Yeah.
It is a good thing for preserving agriculture.
Ag security.
Yes.
What's the other,
The other one is where you actually are agreeing that you're never gonna sell it and it's always gonna be.
what's that called?
Clean it up.
No, not cleaning green.
Preservation.
Agricultural preservation.
Preservation.
I believe that's what.
And this is
That's what,
security.
wait a minute, is this farmland preservation?
No, it's ag security.
Security,
Oh,
yeah.
so they're not getting paid.
No,
No.
See, that's
This
the
is-
difference.
Right, and I think, I just wanted to know if it was the same as what we did with our
Oh, so-
Peters. And it basically was to stop eminent domain and to just say, you know, hey, we've got a group of farms here that,
So
you know.
they still have control over
They
this.
have control,
Yes.
yes.
Yes, they can still sell it for
But you
whatever.
can't, and also you can't let sewers go through your property either.
No, that's not true.
You can.
You can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
But if you don't want the easement to come through, you can
You can
stop
say
it.
no, yeah.
Because that ended up being part of an issue here in the township. So people had that, and, I mean, you're supposed to be looking for the betterment of the township. but-
Community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's got a pros and cons,
Right,
I
Right,
understand.
right. But it does help keep farms here. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's the second one, so they can refer them to the township in it. We acknowledged what they were doing.
Farmland preservation keeps the farms here, but ag security doesn't. If you're in ag security, you can sell your farm for development if you
That's
want to.
correct.
That's correct.
But
If
that's
you
correct.
don't-
But if someone is trying to take your farm for eminent domain, you can stop that.
So-
That's why, and there are certain, and nuisance laws. Farmers in an ag security zone don't have to deal with nuisance laws so much either, which kind of goes hand in hand with some of those other issues of smell and stuff like that. They
Well, see,
can't-
I have 90 acres. I've owned 90 acres for over 60 years.
Mhm.
If I was selfish about my land, people wouldn't have electricity. People wouldn't have gas.
Yeah.
Right.
Same
That's the way I
token,
feel.
your 90 acres, if it was over in Cecil Township, could not have been taken if it was in a ag security zone for that highway.
Yeah, I know, but I could put mine in ag security. I could sell mine for farmland preservation.
Yeah.
But to me, that's communism because the government owns it and you can't do anything with it.
Right, but that's not what the ag security zone is.
No. So I was confused here for a minute. I thought that was farmland preservation, but it's ag security. Okay.
Okay.
What about, we don't have to do anything on it,
No,
right?
no, we just gotta read it, and then the township, the supervisors will take it from there.
Mhm.
Any other questions yet? Anything for you? Got a motion for adjournment? You went, do you have anything else, anybody else have anything? Kathy, Wayne, Nicole? The Simmons family?
No, we're good. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening.
All right, Jack made a motion for adjournment. You second? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.